Okay, nice. Looks like this is back up online anyway, so that's good. Um, yeah. So we're gonna mix together some skin tones.
Nice.
Um, we're gonna mix together some skin tones. We are going to make, let me see, 5 different values of skin tone. These skin tones are all going to be made using a combination of titanium white, yellow ochre, cadmium red, and ivory black. Would you believe? Yeah, you can pretty much make most skin tones using those 4 colours. So yeah, we're going to make, basically what we do first here is that we get together what's called kind of like a local colour. So we'll mix up a good mix of just the yellow ochre and the cadmium red together, and we're basically going to base the other mixtures off that's going to be like our base that we'll make the 5 skin tones with. So it's basically we're going to have one for highlights, one for, well, we'll have 4 values, and then we'll have a 5th, which will basically be like a dark shadow. So what we'll do is we'll get a mix of the red and yellow together first. We'll make a big, massive pile of that, and then we'll just do a little couple of testers, just with just a tiny bit of white and some of that mix then, and we'll see what way it's coming out. Whether it's too yellow or too red. Yeah, and we can just tinker in with it from there, and then we will make a big enough pile of the shadow, which is effectively just our red and yellow mixture with some black added to it. And we can use that for some of the other mixes then as well. If you're doing this at home, get out a good bit of the yellow and the white in particular, because the red is such a strong pigment that it, a little goes a long way with that, basically. Yeah. So we might as well get into it here, I suppose. I actually have some notes in this written somewhere, just so I get my quantities right. I hope you got out for an old walk there over lunchtime. Anyway, I did. I was up around the mean streets of Ballyhan, avoiding people who refuse to walk in single file, etc., etc. But sure, look, people might learn someday. Right, let's go. Let's get our red and yellow together for the base, and we'll add a bit of white to that when we're finished, and we'll see how that turns out. Cool. So I'm going to take a big chunk of yellow here, just plop it over, kind of out of the way over here. Just going to wait and see if that is in the frame. Yeah, that's okay. I might just tilt this down another little bit. This is great. Now you don't have to look at my face, and I don't have to put my head that's covered in cuts on the internet. Yeah, as usual with everything paint related, always handy to have some kitchen paper to wipe off your palette knife. You can just as easily do this with a brush as well, but unfortunately the brush is just going to suck up all the paint that you're mixing together. That's why palette knives are so handy. These are bog standard cheap ones from any old art store. I think they're just generic branded ones. Sorry there, you just have to give me 2 seconds now, because I forgot to put the link to this on Instagram. Just in case anybody on there wants to watch it. Oh shit, someone's ringing me. Is that Louise? Sorry. Okay. So, yeah, small bit of yellow, or small, big chunky enough bit of yellow, and then get your red. I'm gonna say I'm starting off here. I reckon I have. Let me see. 8 parts. 8 parts yellow to 1 part red, and I'm just gonna mix them together. Just like this. This palette knife is actually falling apart. So that's, yeah, you can even see already how strong the pigment is in that red. So you need to kind of treat it carefully, you know, because it's fairly strong and it'll kind of take over the mix. Yeah, looking at this now, even at this stage, I reckon it might be a bit too red. If I was to, I know that my camera probably isn't the fucking best. It's kind of like a very deep terracotta color is what I'm dealing with here now at the moment. Could be okay. I think I might put another little bit of yellow in with it. If you're using a palette knife and you're dipping back into your colours over here, always give the old palette knife just a wipe, so you keep your paint out of the tube, the colour it's supposed to be, rather than muddling it all up with your mixes. Yeah. So basically, I'm just going to get all this together now. Got some notes on this thing. And I am just going to do a tiny little tester. Mix here. Just to see how this is going to come out when it's mixed with white. So what I'll do is, this would be for your kind of lightest skin value that we're going to make. So like, it's going to be mainly white. So I'll take a small little, or this is only just a little tester, so just take a tiny little bit of white, like that. And then like a speck of the of your base mix, and just mix them together, and you'll kind of get an impression. Even this one now, I've got very little red on that, and it's even too much, so I just need a bit more white because it's a bit too hot there at the moment. Yeah, I might even go a bit more pink or a bit more white into that. Yeah. Yeah. So to be honest, I'd be kind of happy enough with that. You know, it's a touch on the pink side. Maybe it's just a bit too chromatic, as in maybe it's just got to, it just might need a bit more white. You'll fairly lather through the white paint now when you're doing this, just so you know. So get yourself out a good bit of it if you're following along or watching back or whatever. Yeah. So one more little. So we'll use this for like the painting's lightest value of skin tone, and we'll actually make another when we get to it. When we're doing the highlights, like like the tip of her nose and the bridge of her nose and stuff like that, we'll actually just like add white into that, just to go a value above, just for our highlights. So. Cool, well that's fine, yeah. So now we'll make up a big enough batch of the shadow tone, which is effectively, so this first one is just the base plus white, and if I would hazard a guess, I'd say it's probably 90% white, 10% base. So we'll get together some of the shadow bits here now. So when you're mixing these two, mix them at opposite ends of your palette, just so they're far away, and we'll put the other, we'll kind of go up in scale this way with another, we'll put another 4 values in between this one and that one, or pardon me, 3. You can do 4 if you wanted, but there's no real point. Yeah. So just get a bit of black to go with this. So I've got maybe 1/3 black, 2/3 that base tone. You'll see that's not enough black. So I'm going to put in a bit more, which will probably make it a 50-50 split between the two of them. As a matter of fact, I need to actually just mix up more of this, because we use this mix to make the other 3 mixes, which I'll show you here shortly. Yeah. So that pile isn't big enough, so we're just going to make more. What did I say? I said it was kind of like a 50-50 split between the two of them. If you're doing this, if you're making another batch of an existing kind of mix that you're making already, don't mix them in together straight away. Do them side by side with a little bit of a gap in between them, and then you can once they're matching up, you can just mix them together then. Yeah, so that's still too warm, so we'll get some more black, which is very dark blue, so it's a cool colour. We'll get to that coolness and warmth and stuff like that. Not today, but another day. It's a bit more black into that there now, and I'd say we'll be laughing. Even a tiny little bit. Yeah. So there we go. I don't have a massive amount of that mixed up still upon reflection, so sorry if I'm boring you, but I'm just going to make more of it. So again, it's just the base tone, the black straight out of the tube. When you're mixing with a palette knife, just literally just mix it together until you can't see, until it's all one colour. It's kind of self-explanatory, but you know, I didn't know that originally when I started painting. Just going to detail. Cool. Right, so oh man, I'm just gonna make more of this because like I'm being stupid here. I should have just made fucking tons of it. Yeah, so that's good. We surely be to Jesus have enough now. Need to actually buy more palette knives. These are bait. Yeah, so the next, we'll just go to the next value down now. So, yeah. So we've got 1, 2, 3, yeah, so, right. Next one down, which is basically our next lightest. It is a fairly easy one, because it is just your shadow tone, a bit of that, and just white. Just straight up white, not too much. You want to make it more. So this is going to be a nice kind of cool grey, or like a brownish grey sort of colour, of which we will need more. I don't know why I'm mixing so little paint, to be honest with you. Probably more than enough here, because yeah, that looks about alright to me. I'm actually going to take a photo of this properly later when I'm finished mixing it, and I'll put it on that Google Drive link so you can look. And because obviously colours wouldn't be great on the old Apple webcam. Yeah, so we'll go down. We'll go down the scale to the next one. So what we're going to mix together for this is we are going to take kind of like half of this shadow mixture and about a quarter of the base and about a quarter white, and we'll see what that looks like, and we will go and adjust it as we need to. So I said about half. Yeah. Then maybe a quarter of the base mixture to go with that. And then we'll get about the same amount of that in white. And this again is going to be more of like a pinky, fleshy, greyish, browny half-tone colour. See, at the moment it probably... Yeah, actually I don't know, I'm kind of happy with that. Almost kind of like... There's almost like a purpley sort of hues to this, I always think. Yeah, that's actually not so bad. Might need a tiny bit of white. As a matter of fact, I might give this one here a bit more white as well. Just a touch. Just to get it more of a step between the darkest dark and this one. This one as well is just the it's just the shadow mix plus white. There's no base mixture in it. Yeah, that's better. Cool. So we'll just do a bit of tinkering with this one here. Based on that, we might get it just a teeny bit lighter with white. We'll see how that turns out for us. And if it's gone a bit too cool, we can warm it back up with some of the base mixture then. It's looking fairly alright there now. Yeah. So then, this one here might turn out to be a bit too white at the moment. So we'll mix up this value, and then we might add a bit of the base into that. So this next one, grab yourself a bit of your base tone, and maybe like the same amount of white, and then you're just going to put in a touch of the shadow mixture as well. I'm going to hazard a guess and say this is going to be completely wrong looking. Yeah, it's too white. We can change that. Is it too white? I don't think it is actually. I think this is too white, which is kind of throwing me off. So I might keep that as the highlight, maybe, and I might. Oh no. Yeah, it could be okay. So we'll take our lightest one there that I mixed up originally, and I think I might just make it a teensy bit more redder. So I actually have some red still on my, or the base, sorry, still on my palette knife here, so even that might just do it. Of course, this is just like one of the 8 fucking million ways there is to skin a cat when it comes to painting. I'd always either use this, which is kind of like symptomatic. Ooh, easy now. Systematic. I'm gonna put my kitchen paper. Sorry with the Freudian slip there. Would be more of a systematic approach. You could always. There's another. This is the Zorn palette. There's also I would use the limited palette, which would be white, crimson red, cadmium yellow, which is like super intense, bright yellow, ultramarine blue, which is effectively blue like that pencil, and burnt umber, and yeah, that's it, isn't it? There's 5. Yeah, burnt umber and the blue. You mix the two of them together, and that's where you get your black. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I decided that I would use the Zorn palette because, to be honest, I kind of prefer it anyway. You can get all your base mixes done, like I just did there, and then you can like cool them down or warm them up with mixtures of pink and blue. So yeah, that's how. Yeah, I think they look pretty good. Yeah, so there you go. If you're doing that at home, you can just put some cling film over your palette and it'll keep for a day. So if you want to use it tomorrow when you start painting properly, go mad. Okay, nice one. See you later.